we could do a right downwind and then head like left turn here. We could go straight to like the blimp and then from there turn back towards LAX, and by that time we'll be 45.
Let me ask you this, because I've tried before to, while the plane has not been shut off or anything, to change this, like the flight plan.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't erase any of this stuff, right? I mean...
Do flight plan.
Flight plan.
Menu.
Menu?
Uh-huh, right here.
Okay, menu.
Scroll down to delete flight plan. Enter. Enter. Then it should all go away. And you're back to square one.
Amazing. Yeah, whenever you know how to work these things, right?
Yeah, there you go. Now you're starting all over. You even need to put in torrents because the plane's like, I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, KTOA.
Yep.
Man, that was cool.
Things you learn.
That's it. I usually go VP car as a waypoint.
Okay. Yeah, you do your thing. It'll be a good visual flight to Camarillo.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'll actually feel just fine flying, you know what I mean?
You'll be right at home.
I'll be right at home. Me and my little plane.
Love it.
All right, SMO.
VP car.
Yeah, VP car. So from here to VP car, and then it just a perfect little line right over the top of LAX or Santa Monica.
Perfect.
And then I go to LA PGE.
Flying into Camarillo, we'll be coming in from the east.
Yes.
So what we'll do is I'll actually have you load and fly and activate and fly and approach.
Yeah.
But we'll be VFR. We don't even need to tell anyone anything.
Oh, okay, got it.
Right?
Yeah.
I just want you to get used to the buttonology and to load and activate and know the difference and oh, this does that and how. Does that make sense?
Oh, I love
Because they'll
it.
most likely give us a straight N26.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just fly and approach.
All right. There we go. Zoom out. Make sure everything's making sense.
Good. Make sure there's no Boston in there.
No Bostons.
There you go.
Right over the top.
Solid.
And then, there we go. All right, so that looks good. We've been in the plane. It's running good. Everything's looking good.
Uh-huh, yeah. We don't need to do any run-up or any of that. That's good. What else do we need to take care of?
Well, boost is on.
As far as loading things. So let's think of the same stuff. What altitude are we going to?
Yeah, so we're going to go 4,500.
Perfect.
Because now we're going to add the 500.
Correct. We're doing special flight rules, yep.
And then we'll just go, 800 feet a minute or so.
I would say 1,000 feet a minute.
All right.
Even that will be higher than VY, believe it or not.
Okay.
What else? 1201 here.
So we're going to go, now that we're on the ground and we go VFR, do we put 1201 on the ground or should we wait until we get...
You could.
Really?
Yeah.
That lets people know our intentions?
It just lets them, they know what we're doing. You could.
Okay.
Absolutely. It just saves forgetting it later on.
Yeah.
Yep, and then here, like Hawthorne, Torrance, if you do this, guess what they think? Oh, they're doing special flight rules.
They're going to special flight rules. Okay.
Yep. So 1201, 4,500.
Yep.
What should we put in the standby of 1?
We're going to put the 128.55.
Are you realizing how being a good pilot is all about staying ahead of the airplane?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
And then, so...
You can put that in the standby because that's tower.
That's right.
Yep, because we'll transfer that, switch to that after.
Okay, so we have a hotel now, right? I mean...
You're good. We could just call tower from the holding short there. We have hotel. That was the information?
Yep.
Okay.
Hotel now.
Cool. This is all good. By the way, how do you make these go away? Take it out of the nav frequency. So click it and take it out. Take it away. Switch it. Good. And now that will take all that away. Clean that up.
Okay.
Because
these
remember,
X's are going to go away?
They should, yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, because you remember the 1119 is
Yeah.
the localizer frequency of the Torrance.
Perfect.
Yep. Of the 29 right.
All right.
Perfect. So that all looks good. We could go. Now here's the thing. We said we don't need a run up. You're right. We just flew this thing. We didn't shut the plane off. Everything's good. But here's the danger. Could you think of any dangers that could happen as a result of someone in this position saying, we don't need a run up, and just take off? What are some potential things that could result if you don't do a run-up as opposed to catching them if you do a run-up?
I mean,
what are some items on your run-up checklist that you might go and take off and forget now if you don't do a run-up?
you know what? That's a great question.
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, how in the heck? In-flight, landing, back. Normal procedures. Let's go to before takeoff. Let's go that checklist. Let's
Go to your run-up checklist. I want you to kind of take note of what are some things that could be missed in the event that you don't do a run-up.
okay, flaps.
Right? Look at that.
Okay, so we're good. Transponder is set.
And that's the big one I was looking for.
Okay, the flaps.
The flaps.
Yeah.
Right? That's the big one I was looking for.
Yeah, because I mean, Cirrus isn't actually. I mean, it's not that it won't take off with 0 flaps, but it's not certified.
You're meant to do 50. It could totally take off with no flaps. But if you think you got 50, and you're the pilot, like most pilots on the planet, who take off when
At
a
70.
certain number
yeah.
reads on the screen, which is horrible. You should be able to feel the energy your plane carries, and whenever it's ready to go fly, you should be able to feel that in your tuchus, and then do this and take off.
Yeah, you can. You can definitely feel whenever it's like the bounces are starting to become long bounces.
You should be one with the airplane.
Yep.
Don't be the pilot who goes, ooh, there's the number.
Go.
Boom.
Yeah.
What if you forgot that?
Yeah, you're going to stall.
Right?
Yep.
That's what we call a power on stall. You don't want to get into that. So the danger of not doing a run-up is what? Forgetting some items that might be on your run-up.
Yep.
So I'm not sitting here saying always do a run-up, but I am saying be aware of some downsides that might result and be on top of that.
That's
and
right.
this is where the before takeoff flow is really handy. You would catch it there because part of your flow is flaps.
Yeah, it's starting here,
right?
but like, oh, shoot,
Exactly. So that's why that's really important. But do you see kind of where I'm going with
Oh,
that?
100%.
Perfect. Awesome. Good. So that's what I was looking for. Good stuff. So flaps 50. Awesome. Everything else otherwise is all good. Our lights
Boost
are good.
is on, looks good. All right.
Perfect. Good.
In flight. And go to maps. Looks good. All right, let's contact tower.
Yep. Let's do a quick before takeoff. Do another quick briefing.
Okay.
And remember, the briefing includes emergency and
Like what we're actually planning on doing, our plan.
right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would start with the plan.
Okay.
Actually, disregard. You do you, whatever works in your brain.
No, I totally get it. So the plan is going to be we're going to line up 29 right. We will climb out and we'll actually pattern altitude. So since we're VFR, we're not going to do 400 and turn. We're going to do 600 feet, which is, we're about 100 feet or so.
Yep, pattern altitude is 1100, so you can turn 800.
Okay, so
But
800.
you see that little yellow sign there?
Yes.
Right? You see the arrow that shows you to turn over the road right after takeoff?
Okay.
So Torrance is notorious for noise abatement, so they want you turning early.
Okay.
So forget the 700 feet. We will turn over that road, which comes pretty quick.
Okay.
So it will be an early turn, but
Early
in
turn.
our case, we'll probably be higher than 700 feet at that point, just because we'll climb like crazy in this plane.
Sure.
Cool. But that's just a little Torrance thing right there.
I love it.
Cool. Okay.
3.075. Okay. So then we'll make our right crosswind, get to pattern altitude, make another right, and we will continue to actually fly. So never mind the traffic pattern altitude. We'll surpass that in our downwind. We're going to climb to 4,500, and we're going to join the LA Special Flight Rules.
Perfect.
Going home to Camarillo.
Awesome.
All right. Once we're on the runway and we're going full power, if I'm not liking something, I'm going to abort the takeoff and safely get off the runway. If at some point, or if we take off and we still have runway left and something's going wrong, we'll just put it down, dead ahead. If we get pattern altitude, then we will go. So if we get the pattern altitude, then we'll make our way back to the airport. And above 2,000 AG or MSL is my hard deck, like I always say. So MSL, 2,000 AGL is my hard deck. So at this point, it would be 3,300, right? 32.
What do you mean by hard deck?
That's where if we are at that altitude and we lose an engine, I'm not sitting here troubleshooting and trying to, because we're losing altitude quickly.
What if you're at 19?
At 1900, then I'm going to pull the parachute.
Even if you could make it back to the runway?
If I can make it to the runway, yeah, I'll be fine with that.
Good. So I would switch your briefing with, because I want to ask you, could you hear how 2000 I'm pulling, 2100 I'm not pulling? Do you hear how that sounds similar to 70 knots I'm rotating?
Yeah.
There's little, it's very robotic.
Yeah.
I want you to be the pilot who could zoom out a little bit and understand that if I'm at 1,600 feet over the ground and I could bet $5 million that I can glide back to the runway safely, I won't pull.
That's for sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want you to relax and be a little more comfortable being a pilot who tells the plane what to do, and you understand that in certain circumstances you know when to pull and when not to pull. So your briefing, I would much prefer hearing you say, above 600 I'm going to use caps, and I'm going to come back to the airport anytime I'd bet my life that I could make it, otherwise I'm going to pull the chute.
Okay, got it.
I don't even care about the 2000. There's times that at 1,600 feet I could make it back. There's other times that maybe at 2,500 feet I can't because I'm too far from the pavement.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So make it more real world useful what you're actually going to do. Because in real life, that's what you're going to do.
That's right.
Right? So you be in charge. What is this plane going to do and what? Perfect. Good. Good. Solid. I'm just throwing it all at you.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
100%.
Awesome.
Well, the beauty of it is whenever you have different instructors, they have different ways of teaching and different thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, well,
don't be robotic.
Don't
Always
be so robotic.
think for yourself.
Yeah, and that's the problem with having just one teacher, is you've adopted theirs, and that's it.
Think for yourself. I want you to take everything I told you today, and tonight at home, question all of it, and take notes and run through it, and whatever doesn't make sense, I want you to toss. I want you to be a student, not a follower. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
Good stuff. Solid.
All right, so we are just about good to go.
No one's here. I'm shocked.
Yeah. Okay, we'll say run up is complete. Oh, look at that. 29 left.
Towards ground, RV 8080 Juliet at the east, taxi to the fuel pit.
RV 8080 Juliet, towards ground, taxi to fuel via Alpha Echo.
Alpha Echo to fuel, RV 80 Juliet.
Towards ground, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, run up is complete.
Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, roger, contact tower.
Over to tower, 1 Charlie Delta.
American traffic on the taxiway, so contact ground 120.9er.
Hey, Tango Bravo. Okay. Feel good, boost on. Fuel tank wheel switch in the sky. Actually, do it now.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so we got tower on board.
Yep. You could just say short of 29 right down departure.
Torrance Tower, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta is holding short of runway 29er left. 29er right at Juliet for right downwind departure.
381 Charlie Delta, Torrance Tower, request to runway 29er right, cleared for takeoff.
29er right, cleared for takeoff, 381 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. And you know how you're saying at Juliet?
Yeah.
You don't have to include the intersection when you're at the furthest tip of the runways.
Really?
You only need to include the intersection when you're at anything other than the last furthest thing.
What? I've never heard that before. Well, I always heard it was that's where you put. You let them know where you're at. But
you can just say holding short of 29 right.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right, full power is in. There she goes. Airspeed is coming up. There's our 70. Let's go to 75. Give a little rotate. All right. Got a nice rate of climb going. Clear the runway. Flaps clean.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're looking for that road.
Right over here in a little bit. And you could begin your turn.
All right, turn right.
Perfect. Sean, solid, man.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Caps are available.
Caps are available. See those bumps just go away once you hit a certain point. It's so weird, man.
Which bumps?
The bumps off the runways.
Oh,
and, you know,
yeah,
and the little turbulent air as you're climbing out.
Yep.
And then you hit a certain point and it just goes hush.
Smooths out, yeah.
Yep. All right, it's parallel to the runway here.
Yep.
All right, so since we're doing that, I'll go ahead and go nav twice.
Now nav twice will intercept this line there. If you want to go direct to it, what do you need to do?
You just...
How do you make this pink line from you to the waypoint, not from the airport?
Oh, then you just go to the direct line and then VP car intersection, enter.
Good. Solid. And now the plane will fly directly to that line.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Cool. So you redrew the pink line.
I like that pink line.
Pink line is great.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, these planes are something else, man. I feel really, really lucky to have one of these.
Great airplane.
I know this is a G2, but man, I still really, really love this aircraft.
Great airplane.
All right, so he hasn't talked to me at all about getting rid of or changing.
So Torrance airspace goes all the way up to 2,400 feet. You're out of it. Could you switch frequencies without asking him?
At this point, I could.
Good.
1201. Climbings. Got a little ways to go, so.
Oh, we'll be good. We'll be good. Should be there in about a minute, 45. Good. So
how
12.
Long you been flying now, man?
Almost 10 years?
Amazing.
Yeah. 2101, 2855.
Yep.
45. This looks good.
Yep.
I just quickly took me 3 seconds, verified that the plane is going to do what I wanted to do in the next few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that didn't take more than 4 seconds. That right there is called what? Situational awareness and staying ahead of the airplane. All right, it's very simple, but you have to be intentional about it. We could have easily sat here and talked about the 10 years I've been flying, or I could have said, you know what, let me real quick, 1201, 2855, that looks good, 45, we're good.
Yep.
You see that?
Oh, yeah.
It's the tiny intentional things that make the difference.
Absolutely.
Perfect, good. Yeah, I started flying up in Seattle, got my private up in Seattle, Washington, and then I got all the rest of my stuff in Phoenix, in the heat.
In the heat?
120-degree temperatures. Crazy.
Yeah, it is.
In the summer.
In the summer, too, huh?
Oh, it's horrible. But it worked out, it was great.
Man, oh man.
You could go vertical speed, you could hit vertical speed and altitude.
I don't think it's actually going to climb that.
There you go. And now we'll level off at 45. Perfect. Now, I know it's not included in that special flight rules sheet, FAA sheet, but you could just say 4,200 over at Laundry Park, climbing to 4,500. There's no limit to how much you can tell others, so people know where you're at, what you're doing. You don't have to do it now, but I'm just giving you a, even though it's not a waypoint that they want you to make a call on the sheet,
yeah,
you could come up with your own stuff to increase other people's situational awareness.
Right.
Make sense?
Yep.
Perfect.
Let's pull some power back.
Oh yeah. What's the maximum indicated speed you could be through special flight rules?
140.
Good. Solid work.
Yeah, this thing will quickly climb up on me.
Oh yeah. This plane flies fast, that's for sure.
They do. Let's see.
We could stay at 45 the whole way.
LA Special Flight Rules, White Cirrus, 4,500 northwestbound over Imperial Highway. LA Special Flight Rules. Pull some power back. Or pull some fuel back.
Oh yeah.
I can feel it. You can feel whenever you're pulling the fuel away from it, it starts to like hesitate ever so slight. You would think that's a negative thing, but that's
I'm a huge fan of leaning these things out like nobody's business.
LA Special Flight Rules, White Cirrus, 4,500 over LAX. LA Special Flight Rules. Should have said northwest.
Yeah.
But 4,500, that's a pretty good clue.
Well, you'd think.
Yeah.
What if you were going southeast at 4,500?
That'd be bad, real bad.
So yeah, northwest is always good to say northwest.
Usually say it, I missed it that time.
Yeah, for sure. Special flight rules. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I love this. This corridor is amazing.
It's awesome.
That looks like the river down there. Nope, maybe not.
Yeah, you're coming up on it. Bologna Creek.
LA Special Flight Rules, White Cirrus, 4,500 northwestbound over Bologna Creek. LA Special Flight Rules.
Awesome. Once you're clear of Santa Monica, I'll have you go to, let's see. Oh, this is good. This power setting, it's all good. And we'll go ahead and load an approach.
Okay.
I just want you to press the buttons again and see how that works.
Let's see, 128, 1.8. Get all my frequencies in.
Oh yeah, I love it, staying ahead of the airplane.
All right, and then we're gonna go 128.2. All right, we're in.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see, we are right over the top of it.
Yep.
LA Special Flight Rules, White Cirrus, 4,500 northwestbound over Santa Monica VOR. LA Special Flight Rules.
Perfect. So now, let's do this. Where's your iPad? Let's go ahead and go to the flight plan and go to Camarillo. Just like we did before, just clear it all. And then KCMA.
Traffic.
Should be on the left there. You see anything? 500 feet below us.
All that white, I wonder if it's a
No, it should be well above the clouds.
I don't see
Traffic.
Yeah, they're to the left, 500 feet. Nothing?
Not seeing anybody.
Cool. Now they're behind us. No factor. Cool. So now click on KCMA and hit direct to. So click on that. And then direct to. There you go. And now, procedures.
4,500.
Approach.
Over the harbor.
Oh, approach.
Special
Yep.
flight rules.
And then what do they have? RNAVs, and so let's go RNAV GPS 26, Yankee. Good. And then let's go vectors to final. Simple enough. And then add to route. Good. And just like before, it shows you the approach plate. Looks familiar?
Yeah.
Everything's the same, right? And this thing extends all the way out here. Actually, Swan is an initial approach fix.
Yeah.
Let's go to there and join it from there.
Okay.
So now let's build this over here based off what you remember from last time. So the plane already has Camarillo as the destination. Let's go ahead and see if you could load the approaches. Good. Enter. Good. And then RNAV 26, Yankee. And we'll go to Swana.
So not vectors.
Correct, yeah. Swana, yep, enter. And you could even go ahead and activate it. Scroll down. So you did load, which is fine. So now how will we activate this approach? And I want you to see what happens on the screen when we activate it. There it is. But the plane is still doing what we're doing because we loaded it. Procedures. Go ahead and activate the approach and see what the plane does.
Okay, activate approach.
Just enter. And look at this. The plane will draw a pink line between us and Swana and all the way to the runway.
Oh, amazing.
That's it. So every time you fly via Farnow, fly to Camarillo, you could do this for practice.
Amazing.
Buttonology, right?
Yeah.
You could get used to this. Perfect. So now Swana, it shows us what altitude could we be between Swana and Nakik?
4,000.
Cool. So we will pretend we're flying this thing, and we will begin descending to 4,000 once we cross Swana.
Okay, got it.
And then from Swana, Nakik to the next one, you could look at the profile view. Yep, so it shows 4,000 all the way to Nakik, and then down to 33.
3,300.
And then down to
2,800.
good, and that is our final approach fix, Jesse. And then from there, we will descend to the runway.
Got it.
So I want you controlling the airplane and descending to these step downs according to the approach plate.
Okay, got it.
All right? Just for practice.
Let's get some ATIS real quick.
Yes, perfect.
Camera tower information whiskey, Tom 00550, wind 260 at 6, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 24, 2.15, altimeter 2982, GPS and VOR approaches in use, arriving and departing runway 26, there's the airman, use caution.
Solid. So, assuming that ATC right now said clear direct Swana, or direct Swana cleared for the RNAV 26 Yankee approach into Camarillo, when could you begin descending to a lower altitude?
I'm cleared to Swana.
You're cleared for the approach,
Okay.
and we're cleared direct Swana. So Swana is where we will join the approach.
So I'd probably start descending now. I'd like to get 4,000.
Close. So here's the thing. We could only descend to the next altitude when two things are going for us. One is we are cleared for the approach. Two, we are on an active segment of the approach. Until Swana, we're not yet on the approach, because the approach begins at Swana. It's the initial approach fix.
Got it.
Because you see where it shows 4,000?
Yes.
Not before Swana, from Swana. So you could begin descending and complying with the approach plate altitudes when what two things are happening?
When I'm at Swana.
When you are on an active segment, which you will be at Swana.
At Swana.
And
when I'm cleared for the approach.
The clearance could be given to you even before you're on an active segment, but you can't yet descend because you just have one of the two things.
Yeah.
Once you reach Swana and you've been cleared, now you have both of them, you could descend to 4,000.
Got it.
All right? So we will pretend right now that we're cleared for the approach.
Okay, we're cleared for the approach.
So when could you begin your descent to 4,000?
Once we get to Swana.
Absolutely solid. When could you begin your descent to 3,300?
This was a little confusing, but Ahi?
Where could we leave 4,000?
Right away. We're at Natick.
Nakik, right?
Natick. Okay, yeah, I got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
When could we descend to 2,800?
When we hit Jezzy.
Nope. We need to show up at or above 28. When could we begin descending?
Oh, okay. Ahi.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, all right.
Are you starting to get it?
A little bit.
Good.
Yeah, slowly.
Not complicated. It's
Yeah.
new.
It's definitely new,
It's new.
Cool, though.
Yeah.
Definitely cool. All right, so we're at 4,500. Feel that hot air?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Okay.
I love it.
2982.
Only special flight rules, service 81 to Wednesday back, northwestbound 4,500.
Now, could you sit in your kitchen with an approach plate and walk yourself through the altitudes and try and figure out where could I begin descending and what?
Yes. Yes,
Keep
I
that
could.
in mind. You don't need to be in an airplane to do this.
All right. So we have whiskey, but we're still about...
You could give him a call at Ahi or Jesse, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of come up with a point before you enter the airspace.
20. All right.
Yep. So I want to see you complying with the approach plate altitudes.
All right. So once we get lit up on Swana,
Yep.
then I'll go down to 4,000.
Correct.
That looks like we're about to get on it.
Special flight rules, service 81 to Quebec, northwestbound 4,500, south.
And I would reduce the power to 30%. I want to stay ahead of the airplane here.
There you go, thanks. Number 2, Victor, British Channel, we'll talk to you guys later, be safe.
Okay, we'll see you in a little bit.
And if you comply with the altitudes of the approach plates, you will not hit anything. So keep that in mind. We could be in the clouds right now.
That's true.
That's the purpose of the approach plane. So I want you to start,
Hotel Bravo Foxtrot.
the time you start trusting an approach plate is doing it in VMC, where you could prove to yourself, yeah, I won't hit a mountain.
I see.
If you did this in the clouds right now, you'd be like, oh my gosh, 4,000 is kind of low. I know there's a mountain here. Will I hit it? But if you do this in VMC, when you show up to clouds, you have developed a trust towards approach plates.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good.
Remember Delta, no problem.
Good stuff.
All right, so there's our 4,000.
Let's go ahead and, yep, so no, disregard that. Let's keep doing what we're doing and descend to the next one whenever we need to. What's the next waypoint to descend to?
The Ahi, or no, Nakik.
Cool.
Nakik.
And we could descend to what altitude?
3,300.
Awesome. Get that ready. And it's coming up here in a moment. You don't want to do it before. Beautiful. See how ahead of the airplane we are?
Yes.
We know what's coming next. Good, there we go. And we could descend now to
3,300.
Let's do it. Solid work. And once we reach Ahi, what altitude could we descend to?
2,800.
Perfect. I wouldn't do that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Final crew check.
Because we might reach 33 before we reach Ahi.
Clear to land runway 26.
You want to keep the floor where you want it. Once you confirm that we're past Ahi, you could lower it to 28.
Bravo Golf, like to taxi back to CFI, please.
Bravo Golf, taxi to the ramp via Foxtrot, please.
Bravo Golf,
And this will
taxi via
confirm to you that flying this approach in the clouds, you won't hit the mountain.
Yeah.
Right? Perfect. And you can get on a tower and say, hey, we're how many miles to the east? Just call it 10 miles out, full stop with whatever the ATIS was.
Yep, 11 miles out.
Camarillo Tower, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta is 11 miles to the east, inbound with whiskey.
Number 381 Charlie Delta, make straight in runway 26, follow a Cherokee approaching left base, number 3 runway 26, clear to land.
Make straight in for runway 26, 381 Charlie Delta.
Number 3, clear to land.
Number 3, clear to land, 381 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. Now we could descend to what altitude?
2,800.
Cool.
Can you call our traffic for career track 114?
Career track 114, there's no traffic, you're number 1.
Good work. Now let's go ahead and arm the approach.
On the approach.
Good. Disconnect autopilot.
Disconnecting autopilot.
Yep. So, go ahead and arm the...
6 November Delta, confirming that Cessna still following.
Let's
6 November,
repopulate
the
that.
traffic passing off your left, the
That's
traffic
good.
you're following. Number 2,
There
runway
it is.
26, clear for the
Perfect.
option.
Okay, good.
Number 2, runway 26, clear for the option. 6 November Delta, thank you.
Now let's maintain 100 knots. Perfect. Could you do this on a sunny day like today, flying into Camarillo for practice?
Yeah, getting down all the steps.
Perfect.
Yeah, I could.
Yep. And the reason it wasn't doing anything before because we were in VLOC,
Yeah.
and they were flying a GPS approach, so it didn't have a needle. So anytime something is not right, check this button.
The CDI.
Yep, make sure you're in the right mode.
It only wants to go 300 feet per minute. That's because we're coming to the 20. Okay, that's why. So we are...
But it will level off at, I don't think it's a precision approach. Yeah, it will level off at 28. So you could disconnect autopilot. Do you have the runway?
Yes.
Cool. So you saw what the approach kind of looks like in terms of having the plane fly it.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Solid.
Crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's set. Set. Landing light is on.
Career track 114, taxi to the ramp via Foxtrot, monitor ground point 8.
Checking ramp via Foxtrot and monitoring ground at point 8, crew check 114.
See how the approach brings you in at an angle,
Yes.
not straight in? Perfect.
That's pretty crazy though.
Because these mountains right
Yep.
here. Yep. That's how they build approaches.
Based around terrain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's obviously something that when you get to briefing approaches, you'll start looking at, oh, this is an offset approach, so you could expect that. If you pop out of the clouds, you can know where to look at,
That's right.
where to look to. It's a briefable item.
Bleed a little airspeed off. Push the nose down. Add a little power.
Solid stuff.
Yeah, so usually what I'll do is as I'm getting a little closer to the runway, you know, usually about 6 or 7 miles away, I'll activate 50% flaps and I'll come in at the speed some of these Cessnas are going and stuff like that.
Yep.
I don't got to worry about it and think about it. All I got one left is just the 100%.
Yep.
And I get that right before.
Yep.
A little high
Exactly.
now. So let's pull some power. There we go. Feel it sinking,
Beautiful.
but controlled sinking.
Yep. Right this second, how are you maintaining altitude? With your yoke or with your power?
Power.
Cool. Right, and that only works with a given trim condition.
Yep.
If you retrim, now that's different.
Now you got to change the power.
Right. Well, that given power setting will result in a different descent rate. So only for a given trim setting, more power means less descent rate. Less power means more. But then if you change the trim setting, that changes the descent rates.
Gotcha. All right, so speed checks. Let's go flaps full. Got to be under 104 knots
Yep,
for flaps full. 100%.
look at that, the wind straight down the pipe.
Gotta love it. Love Camarillo.
Oh yeah.
Good, good, good. All right. Add a touch of power to get us there. All right, airspeed looks good. Bleed some of that off. Power off. Runway is made.
We're at Tower Warrior 600.
Whoa, you feel that?
Oh yeah.
2 more and
Very nice.
a short approach for the next one.
Nice
Remember
save.
to make short approach, runway 26, cleared for the option.
Okay, flaps up.
The option, runway 26, Warrior 600.
Nice
Here's one
save.
Charlie Delta, turn left on Charlie and say parking.
Left at Charlie going to CIA.
And one November Delta, taxi to the ramp via Foxtrot and monitor ground point 8. You guys have a good night.
Was that for 381 Charlie Delta?
Affirmative, number 1 Charlie Delta, taxi to the ramp via Foxtrot and monitor ground point 8. You guys have a good day.
To the ramp via Foxtrot, monitor ground 1 Charlie Delta.
Other aircraft calling unanswered, say again.
Okay, fuel pump off, or boost
Runway
off.
2 off, runway 26, taxi via Foxtrot and Alpha.
Okay, I'll monitor ground.
260 at Foxtrot and Alpha, 478 to go.
All right,
Perfect. Solid work.
thank you, sir.
Traffic.
We're on the ground, mister.
If your brain hurts, that's a good sign.
That was a lot, man.
Yep. Let it all sink in.
That was a lot, but I will be
There's only
looking at
so
that.
much you can do in 4 hours.
That's so true. Well, we got IFR and VFR in,
Got
so.
it all. We got it all. We got it all. Good job, Sean. Good work.
Thank you.
Great pilot.
Thanks, man.
Good pilot.
For having 180 hours only, you know.
Pretty good.
But always learning.
Oh, yeah. Every
Always.
time I'm around an airplane, I learn. Just around it. Absolutely. That's the best attitude you can have as a pilot. Learning, 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 learning.
Oh yeah, I mean that goes for anything I think in life is,
Right.
if you think you know it all, yeah, you're losing now
Right.
at this point. Because you think you know it all, so you can't ingest any more information per you.
Yep. And just like, you know, in medicine, even the best doctor in the world who's been doing it for years, guess what they say?
Well, they still make mistakes.
They're practicing medicine, right?
They're practicing, got it.
Practicing. I think pilots should be able to get away with practicing flying. So you should think of it that way. Every time you go fly, it's practice.
100%.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. Not only surgeons are not the only ones who get to practice when they do what they do. So we should think of it that way too. Because if you don't think of it as practice, it's easy for things to get to you.
Complacent.
Like the radio call before that you were like, oh darn, I didn't sound like a fighter pilot. If you think of this whole thing as practice, you go, oh.
Traffic.
Maybe I'll say less words next time or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. But if you think of this as like game day, do or die, it makes a big difference. This is all practice. Till the last day you fly, it's practice.
Good way to look at it.
You're getting better and better and better, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. All she said.